Whether you want to lose fat, gain muscle, and become lean, or you want to put on size, this video is for you. Alright, boom. So today's video is simply going to be on the perfect diet for you to build muscle or to lose weight. Now, fundamentally, building muscle, losing weight, getting lean, or putting on size, they all have one thing in common, and that is what you eat. Not how you work out, or not how long you work out. It is primarily down to your diet. When it comes to building muscle, getting lean, it's more about the nutrient dense foods and being in a caloric deficit, whereas putting on size is more about being in a calorie surplus, and again, eating nutrient dense foods that will help you build those muscles and put on size. At the end of the day, both sides of the spectrum require you to have nutrient dense foods. So what diet am I going to recommend to you? Well, there isn't really one perfect diet. It's all about you kind of trying out what works for you the best, right? There's carnivore / animal-based diet, there's keto, and then there's the warrior diet. Keto focuses mainly on low carbs, high fats, and moderate proteins, typically focusing more on removing certain kind of carbs like rice, potatoes, oats, pasta, basically just grains in general. And it allows for carbs mainly in the vegetable family like carrots, broccoli, kale, rockets, radishes. You get the gist. And like depending on like what kind of keto you follow, they kind of like are like iffy on like the fruits that you can eat. So you kind of have to like do your own due diligence with that. But I don't actually think that fruits in general are inherently bad if you keep them to a certain amount. Next, we have the animal-based / carnivore diet, which is mainly just meat, chicken, eggs. That's it. No carbs, just pretty much just high fat, high protein, no carbs. And then we have the warrior diet, which is like mainly optimized for like muscle building and for taste as well, which is high fat, high protein, low to moderate carbs. Now, it does not matter what diet you choose, it is mainly about what works best for you, right? So there are lots of people who are like carb sensitive, and so they go on keto or carnivore, and that is perfectly fine. You will see results faster on keto and carnivore simply because those two diets are perfectly optimized for health. With keto, it's mainly about removing starchy foods and kind of high complex or simple kind of carbs like the rice, the oats, the potatoes, the pastas. With that being said, their high fat content allows you to keep you satiated and full for way longer than if you were to try any other diet. Now, the only cons I can see to this is that it's pretty restrictive. So if you're somebody who doesn't really like being restricted on a diet, then, you know, find something else. Now, here's the thing. You should not look at it as just a diet. You need to look at it as a lifestyle. Can you keep up with keto for the rest of your life? Can you keep up with carnivore for the rest of your life? Can you keep up with the warrior diet for the rest of your life? Now, just because I said this doesn't mean that you have to follow it religiously for the rest of your life, right? The main point is, for a consistent basis, can you keep up with it? Because it's fine for you to switch between keto, carnivore, warrior diet, but the main problem is, are you going to be able to keep consistent with whatever you pick? Okay, next thing. When it comes now, let's talk about how much or how little you should be eating. So when you're in a caloric deficit, naturally you are going to have to eat less than your maintenance. So when it comes to keto, carnivore, or warrior diet, the one thing that you need to keep in mind is how many carbs you're eating. Simply put, the amount of carbs that you're eating will determine how much weight and how much fat you lose, and how quickly. Now, this does not mean that carbs are inherently bad. In fact, when it comes to muscle building, it is actually pretty good. But if the carbs that you're eating are kind of high in the glycemic index level, then you kind of want to manage how much of the carbs that you actually eat, right? So let's say we have rice or potatoes. They typically are higher in the glycemic index. But this does not mean that they're inherently bad for losing weight or losing fat. It is simply how much you eat of them that will determine if you lose fat or weight quickly. Me personally, I'm on a cut right now. I'm going on a caloric deficit, which means that I need to lower my carb intake. But in order for me to feel full, I have to increase my fat and my protein intake, well, mainly my fat intake, because that's what keeps you satiated and full for such a long period of time. And that's one thing that people generally do not understand. When it comes to like just diet in general, lifestyle in general, if it's not about what works, yes it is, what am I talking about? It's not about how many calories you're eating. It's about whether or not you feel satiated while eating, which is why a lot of the good diets like the carnivore or keto diet focus on high fats and high protein, because they satiate you the most. Now, carbs are tasty, yes, but they are just like a fuel source, just like fat. If you're in a stationary, sedentary position for all of your life, your body is going to use your carbs as fuel, but he'll have no way to exert that energy, so it's going to store it as fat. That's why a lot of people tend to go on a low carb diet, simply because most people nowadays live sedentary lifestyles. Now, someone like me who is active, going to the gym, taking walks, trains like an athlete, plays basketball, goes boxing. Typically, I am active, I am always outside, I am doing something with my body. That much means that I have to consume way more food just to keep up with like the amount of energy that I am expending. Now, if I were to go on low carb diet, like mainly like low carb, like keto low carb, I would not have the amount of energy that I would need to keep up and perform well in those sports, which is why I'm like more on the side of low to moderate if you're like really active, like really seriously active, compared to like the sedentary lifestyle of like low carb. But again, low carb, moderate carb, it doesn't matter. So long as you're doing your own due diligence on the foods that you're eating, you're perfectly fine, you're perfectly calm. So now we've gone over diet, which kind of helps you get lean, and that's it. But how do you build a muscle from the diets? Mainly, it is focusing on proteins, right? Proteins help you build muscle. What are the perfect proteins for you to build muscle? Eggs. Eggs are a superfood. The more eggs you consume, the better. Do not listen to the lies that you've been told by the fitness industry of eggs have high cholesterol, so that therefore it's bad. That is not true. The reason why I'm so big right now is simply because I consumed like 6 to 8 eggs every single day. Next thing is nutrient dense meats. You have, I just drew a blank. You have mincemeat, chicken, turkey, you have lamb. These are all perfect nutrient dense foods that will keep you satiated for a long period of time. Not only will you keep you satiated, but they're tasty and they are high in protein, and mainly stuff like mince beef, minced lamb, lamb in general, beef in general. They are high fat and high protein. So you're kind of getting the both of best of worlds. With chicken, it's a lot more lean, but it's like pretty high. Well, no, it's actually really high protein. And then if you want like a cheat code for like building muscle, there's tuna, which is fabulous for building muscle. Like, I'm pretty sure like 3 kinds of tuna is like 75 grams of protein. So if you eat that like every single day, like you're gonna see results fast. So let me go over that again, right? Let me go over that again. For high protein meals, you want chicken, beef mince, some kind of beef like steak, sirloin steak, whatever it is, mincemeat, lamb shoulders, any kind of lamb, mutton, tuna, sardines, mackerel. All perfect for building muscle. Now for high fats, we have Greek yogurt, we have eggs, we have, I'm drawing a blank, oh my god. I'm drawing a blank, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. What do we have? No, you get the point. We have eggs, we have Greek yogurt, we have olive oil, we have butter, we have, oh my god, that's a cat. Okay, I need to stop getting distracted from this video. So for high fats, we have mainly like cooking oils like butter and olive oil, which are really good for you. Focus mainly on the butter and the olive oil compared to like the weird BPA chemically generated seed oils, because they're like really bad for you. Do not cook with those oils at all. Vegetable oils, seed oils, do not cook with them at all. Do not cook with them. Mainly focus on butter and olive oil, which are high in fat, the good kind of fats. Also ghee as well. Ghee is like really good. Eggs is like high fat, high protein, but I think it's like way more high fat than high protein. But like, it's a superfood that will keep you full for long. So the whole point of this video is simply not that it's about the perfect diet, but about the foods that you actually consume. Are the foods that you consume nutrient dense, or are you just on a diet to fit your calories, to fit your macros? Because if you're just doing it for the latter reason, then you're not going to see any progress, whether it's building muscle, losing weight, losing fat, trying to build on size. I mean, actually no, if you're just doing it to build size, then fair enough, but you're going to get fat. So generally speaking, getting lean, losing fat, building muscle, putting on size, they all require one thing, and that is a good diet, good nutrient diet. You have that one thing and you will not fail in any one of those categories. Last thing, I am running a free one-to-one coaching plan where I help you with your fitness. I develop your workout plans, your meal routines, pretty much how you can be productive in the gym, the most efficient workouts, and I will work with you personally to keep you accountable, help with your diet, and help with you kind of just get the physique that you want in a year. So if you're interested in that, click the link below. We can work something out. Right now I'm only accepting like 5 people because I kind of have like a busy life right now. I'm running like 2 other businesses, so 5 people is all I can manage right now. So yeah.